Welcome to Garden Delights. Hello, I'm Susan Howington, Family Consumer Science Agent with the Henry County Cooperative Extension, partnership with the University of Georgia. We're going to have a great show for you today. I think of strawberries, I think of spring. We're going to hear from Frank Hancock, our Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent, and he's going to talk more about gardening and strawberries. We'll see you in just a minute. Welcome back to Garden Delights. We're going to talk a little bit more about those strawberries, and hopefully after we get through talking about them, you're going to learn more about them. You're going to want to go out and buy them at the grocery store today. So let's talk a little bit about the strawberries. One good thing about the strawberries, they're fat-free and they're cholesterol-free. They're sodium-free, and all those are important in our diets today. Did you know that 1 cup of strawberries has more vitamin C in it than what you can get out of 1 orange? They're also high in fiber, and they're also good because they're high in folate, and by this helps guard against cancer. They're also low in natural sugar. In this colander I have is about 1 cup of strawberries, and that's about 8 medium strawberries. 1 cup of strawberries is 55 calories, so you can see that that's a lot of strawberries to be able to eat for 55 calories. Now let's talk about selecting those strawberries. Now when you're selecting strawberries, you want to look in the grocery store and you want to make sure that you're looking for a plump, red. You want to make sure they're shiny, they're firm looking, and a lot of times you can't touch them unless you go and pick your own. And when you pick your own, then you have a chance to pick out exactly what you're looking for. That means that there can be what size you want, how small you want, how large you want, but that's a good thing about pick your own. So we're talking about the shiny, the firm part of them. You don't want any bruises on them. You don't want to see any leaky juice coming from them. Now, when you're getting ready to store them in your refrigerator, you know, normally we buy them in a container and they're stacked on top of each other. So when you're getting ready to put them in your refrigerator, you do not want to wash them until you're ready to eat them. And when you're getting ready to put them in your refrigerator, you want to layer them out. And by layering them out, that means lay them in some kind of container that you might have in your refrigerator that you can put in there. And then you want to layer them with a paper towel on top. And that just keeps them in your refrigerator just a little bit longer. The average time that a strawberry can stay in your refrigerator is 1 to 3 days. So you're looking at the max around 3 days before they start going bad. Now, if they're starting to that part going bad, then that's when you want to think about what can I do to prolong them to keep them longer. So let's talk about how we're going to freeze these strawberries. One important thing that I do want to make sure you understand is the green cap on these strawberries are so important to leave on before you get ready to wash them. It helps store the nutrients. It also helps keep the water from getting into the strawberry that can make it decay and rot it. So keep the caps on until you get ready to eat them. Let's say you have abundance of strawberries, you picked your own, or you bought a great sale at the grocery store and you want to keep them, but you don't have time to do that jam or jelly. You can freeze them for up to about 3 months to get that quality that you're needing, and then you can bring them back out and make that jam or jelly that you're wanting to make. But let's talk about freezing them. You do want to wash them before you freeze them, but while you're washing them, you want to keep the cap on. You'll wash them, and then you're going to take the caps off, and they're real easy to take off. You can just twist them off. You can take a knife if you want to and pull it off, but it's real easy to do. And then once you do that, the best way to freeze them, because you know when you buy them at the grocery store, they're all loose in that bag, which really does help because then you can take out from that bag exactly what you want. Well, the strawberry, if you'll freeze it on a cookie sheet, if you have space in your refrigerator, freezer, then you can take them and freeze them just a little bit in that freezer and then on that cookie sheet. And once you do that, you can take it and put it into a Ziploc freezer bag or a freezer container, whichever you prefer, and they will keep in your freezer for about 3 months. And I just remember a neighbor used to take them out of her freezer, put them into a little bit of ice and a little bit of a blender and ice with the strawberries, and they were a great, just a great smoothie. So you can do so much with these strawberries as far as prolonging them if you do freeze them. Just to remember, keep those caps on because that will keep the nutrients in them and also to keep them where they will prolong longer in your refrigerator. When we come back, we're going to be putting a recipe together for you. And not only that, but we're going to hear from Frank Hancock. He's going to be at the garden. He's going to get to talk about gardening with our strawberries and tell us how to plant them. But he's also going to tell you about a very important tool called the hoe and tell you exactly how to use it. We'll see you in just a minute.
Today we're going to talk about strawberries. There's a couple of different ways that strawberries are grown here in Georgia. There's an annual row system, which you see more in Middle Georgia, South Georgia. You see that a lot on strawberry farms, on pick-your-own farms where they're growing it in an annual row that's covered with plastic. And the strawberries are planted in October. They grow through the winter and then come into April and May. They get ripe, they get picked, and then they get plowed up and done away with. That kind of helps the big operations control diseases and that sort of thing because they start with a fresh crop every year. What we're going to talk about for a few minutes here is a matted row system. With the matted row system, you're going to plant your strawberries about 48 inches between the rows, about a foot between each plant, and then you will let the plants grow together about 18 inches from each row. Strawberries will put out what's called daughter plants, and it'll come out on a vine, and those will root and expand what you're doing. You can also, if you're paying attention, you can place those daughter plants to fill in the blank spots as they come out. So you get a good, clean, matted row. And like I say, about 18 inches from each row, that leaves you about a foot in between where you can walk through and pick the berries, and you'll cut that out with your hoe, or you can run your tiller through there, just however you keep that cleaned up in between. So strawberries that you get, like this is a pack of 25 strawberries right here. So they come in as a bare root strawberry, and if you're not ready to plant them when you get them, you can keep them in the refrigerator. So you will take your strawberry and you will plant it, trying to keep the root system as straight as you can. You don't want to just put it in the hole like this. You want it to stay straight. You want all the roots to be in the ground, and you want the dirt about halfway between there and the crown. So you don't want to cover it too deep, but you don't want to cover it so shallow that the roots are coming. So you want to be right above the root system, right in the middle before you get to the crown. So what we're going to do here, we'll dig a hole and we'll go down as deep as we can here because we want to preserve these roots. So once we get it down where we can get our strawberry in the ground with our root system down straight like we want it to be, and then we're going to come in and it will get covered up. We're going to pack it down a little bit with our hand, and then when we get finished here, we're going to have a strawberry that is set at the right height so that it can grow and do well. Now this little garden spot here that we're planting, it's a little flat and it holds a little water, so we raised a little hill to plant them. We planted these strawberries in here last Friday, and so you can see some of them they look just like this when we planted them, so some of them have already come out. The mulch was put in here to control the moisture, try to control the weeds. A little tip on the mulch though, this mulch was dug off of a pile that's been sitting there for about a year, and if you notice, a lot of Bermuda grass has come in here with it, and this Bermuda grass, it's not dead, it's alive, and it was brought in here with the mulch. So you need to be cautious about that. When you go digging in a mulch pile that's got grass growing in it, then you're going to be bringing this over and this will challenge you in your hoe. You will have a tough time with Bermuda grass. Your hoe can handle it. The question will be whether you can handle it or not. So be careful what you bring in for mulch. This patch needs to be gone through and all that Bermuda taken out of it. So that kind of gives you an idea of what a matted row looks like, and this will all get covered with strawberries. You can refurbish them, you can cut them back into, these are June bearing strawberries that we're planting, so after they bear we can cut them back, put some pine straw over them to get them through the winter, and you can make them last about 3 years if you maintain them and take care of them. Next, we're going to go over here and take a look at what you can do if you don't have a strawberry patch, and we'll look at planting some strawberries in the container. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a little strawberry in some containers. There's a lot of different ways to do strawberries in containers. A lot of people will plant them in the big clay pots that have got the slots in the side of them. Sometimes you have to put a PVC pipe down the middle to make the water get uniform. What we're going to do here is just a simple version of a container strawberry. We've got 3 pots here. We're going to plant strawberries in them, and we're going to stack them. You can stack them as high as you want to, depending on how many bigger pots you want to get to start from the bottom and stack them. So to begin with, we're going to take our plants and we're going to get them ready to plant. So we're going to take the label off of this pot. Generally, it will tell you to peel off about half of this cardboard. This cardboard, a lot of people think this cardboard is that the plants are going to grow right on through it, but it really kind of inhibits the roots a good bit before it rots. So I like to just get it out of the way, get my roots freed up. These roots have got to have plenty of oxygen so they can function like they're supposed to. So we're going to clean them off, try not to damage any roots as we take this cardboard off the bottom. And then I want to kind of spread my roots out a little bit. I don't want them to be all bunched up thinking it's still in a pot when we get through. And then I'm going to dip it in some water to begin with so that now my roots are good and moist. I'm going to plant this first one right here in this pot. We've got potting soil that we've put in here. And again, we're going to come down to the same level that they are in the container. We don't want to get them in there too deep or too shallow. Might have to go a little bit deeper with that one, but that's okay. Let me get where I can open this up some. And we're going to come on in here with our root system and get our strawberry positioned in there so that we can get our soil up around it in the right place and not have it be too shallow or too deep, just like we talked about with our bare root plants. I've got some more soil right here I can put in here around it. And we're going to pack it in there good so that it's got a good firm base to grow in. We'll kind of set that one out of the way and get to our next pot here. On this next pot, we're going to go a little bit to the front. Let's try, see what I got right here. I've already peeled some of these off, if I can pick it up. And so this one, we're going to again open up our root system a little bit so that it's ready to go. We're going to come into our pot with it and get it down to the right level and come on around. And I don't care if you want to throw away the rest of this cardboard that's peeling off of it, that's a good thing too. We'll just get that one set in here, and a little bit more soil to bring it up to the right level. We don't want to get up on top of the crown, just like we talked about. We'll firm it up a little bit here so that it's got a nice place for its roots to be. Then this pot is going to wind up sitting here right behind that one. So now we've got 2 strawberries going. We'll come over here to our big pot now, and we've got some more that we can get up here. I've already peeled the bottom off to loosen up my roots so that the roots can get started in here doing what they're supposed to be doing. We'll set that plant right in there, go around it the same way. We're going to pack it in, not too deep, not too shallow. We'll come over here on this pot. We'll go ahead and put another one in. And let's see what I got here to work with. This one right here. And again, I've got my roots already loosened up on this pot right here. And so we're coming in to plant it. And we can get rid of some more of this cardboard once we've held our plant together to get it in the hole. We'll get this one in, get it packed down. And then we can take this pot right here and we can come right up on top of this other one with it and get them sitting there. And these strawberries will grow. The daughter plants will cascade off of here. The strawberries will cascade down, and it will just keep on going. You can cut some of the daughter plants off later on, and you can give them to your neighbors and have strawberries all over the neighborhood. So this is one way to do a container. So when we water it, each one has kind of got its individual pot. It will drain through from this one to that one to the other one, but the pot's going to maintain its water like it normally would. It's not like having a big tunnel where you got to try to control your water flow. So that is one version of a container strawberry patch. Okay, today we're going to talk about one of the most important tools that you have for your garden, and that's your hoe. There's a lot of different kind of hoes. Just people are all the time trying to make a better hoe. This is just a standard draw hoe, and I kind of like it best for what I'm doing. People call me all the time and want to know how to organically get the weeds out of their garden, and this is it. It's got no gasoline, it's got no oil, it's got no starter rope, no fumes. You don't have to worry about any toxic runoff when you're using this to kill your weeds. And it's the most useful thing that you got. Lots of fresh air, good visibility. I mean, it just goes on and on about what you can do with this hoe. So you can lay off your rows with a hoe. You can chop weeds with your hoe. You can make hills with your hoe. You can use your hoe to pick up friendly snakes and move them out of the garden. You can use it to get rid of poisonous snakes. There's just no limit to what you can do with it, and it also makes a pretty good walking stick when you're walking around in the garden seeing what you're doing. A lot of these weeds, if you're out early in the morning, and of course when you're dealing with weeds with a hoe, you need to do it regularly because you don't want them to get so big that you got to work so hard to get them. So you get them when they're small. If you come out early in the morning, you can catch them looking at the sun, and you can walk up behind them, and before you know it, they don't even know what hit them. They're gone. So the most valuable tool that you got in your arsenal right here is your hoe.
Welcome back to Garden Delights. So we're going to try our recipe with you now, and hopefully you're going to like this recipe. It is called Strawberry Fluff, and it's really, really easy to make. And I think about these times of years when the strawberries are coming in, you have guests come over, you need something really quick that you need to put together. Well, this is the recipe for you as far as putting something quick together for your family or for friends. I've already sliced some strawberries up, and you can see they're already sliced. I chose to slice mine lengthwise, but you know, everybody has their own way of wanting to slice something, so it really doesn't matter how you want to slice your strawberry. But all I did was pretty much sliced it, and I sliced it pretty thin so people can actually see the centers of them, and that's just the way I like to slice them. You know, some people had rather slice them where you have more of the round look, so I'm going to slice that also, the round look, to give you an idea of what it would look like. So it just really depends on your likes and what you like to, as far as the looks of the strawberry. I just chose to do mine lengthwise. I do want to show you one other thing that's really neat with the strawberry. Once you've made your recipes, just to kind of put something at the very top, you can take a strawberry. There's such a unique fruit and a berry. And I do want to add, I don't know if you've ever thought about, but the strawberry, just one strawberry has about 200 seeds to it. And it's the only fruit that has the seeds on the outside of it. But you can take a strawberry and cut it into little sections, and then you can fan it out, and it makes a wonderful little decoration on top of whatever you're fixing. So there's so many ways you can do it. I've seen where you can even hollow out the middle and put something in the middle as far as a cream or whatever you're trying to do as far as decoration. So let's put together the strawberry fluff. The strawberry fluff has strawberries that it's going to be about 3 cups, and like I said, 8 medium makes about a cup. So that's about 24 strawberries chopped up already. And then also in our recipe for the top of it, when we get done with the strawberry fluff, you're going to put a little bit of pecans on the top of it. I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to grab some Cool Whip. And the Cool Whip is going to be used to make the layer of the strawberry. And then I also have cut up already 1 angel food cake. And you can see mine are really square, but you can tear it. It's however you want to do it. The good thing about an angel food cake, it's very low in calories. This is about 120 calories for 1 slice of 1/8 of a cake with 0 fat. So it's a great, if you're looking for ways to lose weight, need that sweet tooth, this is an easy recipe to go with, and also not feel like you're overeating on those calories. So in order to put the recipe together, I'm going to use a trifle bowl, but you can use anything as far as a bowl. You don't have to use this, but I like it because it makes it really pretty. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to put in the bottom, you're going to put some of your bread, of your cake, in the bottom, and you're just going to kind of put it around. And in a little bit, we'll have Frank Hancock come back and taste it. He doesn't know this today, but he's going to have his own individual little trifle cup for him to taste. So you're just going to kind of layer this out into the bowl, and we're going to put some of the strawberries on top of the cake. And you just want to kind of just let it go around to make sure, because everybody wants a bite of strawberries when they're eating the dessert. So I'm just going to put just a little bit more. So I want to use about half of these strawberries to cover this. So that's about your 2½ cups, about. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the Cool Whip. And the Cool Whip, this is fat-free. So we're going to take a little bit of the Cool Whip, and we're going to start putting it on the top. And I'm going to try to use about half of it. And we're just going to kind of spoon it around. Make sure it's covering your strawberries. And I'm going to use just a little bit more. And remember, it's fat-free, so you don't feel like you're eating all the calories. All right, so that's our first layer. Okay, so now we're going to layer it with some more of the cake. I still got to say some from Frank and I. Let's do in our small bowls. And as you can see, this adds up a pretty good bit. So you could make several little bowls if you wanted to, and have individual bowls instead of one big bowl. So it really depends on how you want to to do it as far as that goes. So I'll try my best to leave just a little bit more for him. Push it down just a little bit. All right. And the strawberries, there's been a little bit of sugar that's been added to bring out the juice from it, and also just in case, just to add a little bit of sweeten to it. If you don't want to add sugar, you do not have to add sugar. And if you want to, if you don't want to do sugar and you are a diabetic person, you can also add some kind of substitute sugar that you like as far as your preference. So we're going to add the strawberries. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I'm going to top it with the rest of the Cool Whip. I think that'll be enough for us to do our single one. Okay, just a little bit more of the Cool Whip. And I'm going to add pecans to mine, and you do not have to. If you don't like nuts, you know, you could just do, like I said, decorate it with some more of your strawberries if you want to. So it's really up to you on how you want to do this. So I'm going to just spread this a little bit around to make sure we got our strawberries covered. And when I'm mixing Cool Whip, I always want to stick my finger in it because it looks so good. We're going to take a little bit of the nuts just to add a little bit of look to the top of it. And we're going to sprinkle it around. And we have a strawberry fluff. I hope you'll try the recipe. I know it's very good. It's very nutritional for you. We'll see you in just a minute. We're going to bring Frank Hancock back, and he's going to try this strawberry fluff. Welcome back to Garden Delights. We have Frank with us, and he's going to try our strawberry fluff. So let's try it, Frank.
Now, all that work we did crawling around out there in the dirt, planting those strawberries, and this is what you get. So see, it's all been worth it. This is my favorite part.
I know you love desserts.
Yep, I think I'll go plant some more strawberries.
I think you need to. So check out the website for the recipe. We'll see you next time on Garden Delights.